Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between StephennJF as our US. His opponent today is going to be Barbarossa as the Wehrmacht. Map is going to be Twin Beaches. Really like this map. Leads to some cool gameplay decisions, cool strategies. So you got these two major cutoff points connecting you down to this bottom side where the majority of fuel and victory points are. You got this rich fuel point right here in the middle, which connects from this point, this cutoff point here. Then you've got a rich munitions cache up top there. So this map is fairly wide, and it kind of feels like a long walk to get down into these lower beaches here, or over to the right on the flip side. So I imagine we'll be seeing folks going for the cutoff points at least once, but most people are, as the game goes on, folks are going to be hanging out here in the middle and then rotating to various sides. Good luck having funds coming out from our players. For those of you that don't know, StephennJF does stream on Twitch, so I highly recommend checking him out on there. Found his streams to be entertaining. Both players opening fairly standard. Barbarossa opted for 3 Pioneers into Grenadier here and has gone for the Italian Coastal Battle Group. This is not a very common battle group. I think they used to be more popular, and I think they nerfed bunkers in general, which is kind of what that battle group revolves around, so it feels a little less popular these days, but see how he wants to use it. Standard builds continue, both players adding on more infantry. Grenadiers closing the back gap with these scouts. Scouts are going to have to bail out as the riflemen come in. Grenadiers going to be backed up by these Pioneers here. Sort of expecting these Pioneers to close the gap, but that is a fight that definitely favors these riflemen in that heavy cover. Interestingly enough, our German player is not retreating his Grenadiers there. Opting to stay out on the front line as long as possible. The longer you're fighting with your opponent, the less territory they're capturing, so this doesn't look like a favorable fight to me. We'll see if he sticks around much longer. Grenadiers and Pioneers coming to help. But that squad's going to have to get out of there. There's a little skirmish going on the bottom side. Looks like our German did win it. Seems like it was Scouts versus Pioneers down there. Pioneers win up close. Again, this is all about the delay tactic, right? Our German is delaying his opponent for as long as humanly possible, despite this probably being a losing fight for our German ultimately. Because while all this is happening, our German has control of both fuel points, or all the fuel points, right? I guess he doesn't have income from this one, but he's denying fuel to his opponent while reaping the rewards of controlling 2 points. He's also picked up 2 of the victory points, so every second that passes, our German is happy. There's a fight going on down here. Pioneers and 2 scout squads. Pioneers are going to have to bail out, but again, just delaying as long as possible, slowing down his opponent. Grenadiers did end up winning that fight with the help of the Pioneers, but third rifleman coming in here, flamethrowers from the Pioneers, going to put a quick end to that fight. And well played by our German player.
Commander, we've lost a sector.
All quiet for the moment there, but just look at that fuel advantage for our German.
Territory point is no longer under our control.
US player adding on the infantry support center. No surprises there. Gonna get a captain on the field. We'll see if he wants to tech into anything that the infantry support center has to offer. Has some incredibly versatile and powerful options. They are rather expensive and delay your light and medium. I mean, they delay all of your tech by a lot. So German player's gone up to 3 Grenadiers, adding on a coastal battle group now. Oh, artillery officers, sorry. Can you tell I don't see this battle group very often? Throwing down sandbags here to delay his opponent from being able to take back this cutoff point. Scouts continuing to capture territory down here. Pioneers going to try and close in. And for the moment, our US player is a little bit trapped in his base. German player throwing down mines. Did he finish that mine? Yeah, he did. Rifleman flanking this heavy cover. Respecting that flamethrower, though. Captain walking into the flamethrower by mistake. Scouts on the retreat there. Flamethrower closing the gap with these riflemen up close here. Burning them out of that heavy cover. Artillery officer here to help. And that flamethrower is just freaking devastating for our German here. Or for our, yeah. That's devastating effect. US player doing something somewhat unusual and going for bar rifles for his infantry. That, you don't see it very often. I've heard it described as a noob trap. I am not sure if that's the case or not, but what I do know is that I don't see US players add on bars very often. I think part of the reason is because it's so darn expensive in terms of fuel. 40 fuel is quite a bit at this stage of the game. That could be used on something else. Another artillery barrage from our artillery officer here. But riflemen getting past it, getting around it, closing the gap. These BAR is going to be really, really strong up close here. He did also add on a minesweeper to disable that mine, so he clearly saw that happen. Big push happening here all across this beach. And German just trying to delay, right? Because he knows this is a pretty strong push from his opponent. Grenadiers staying there as long as they possibly can. So nice little push by our US player. Wow, and our German player continuing to add on Grenadiers all the way up to 5. That is unusual to see. A lot of times folks will start adding on team weapons, but he's recognized that his opponent... First of all, he's had a fuel advantage this entire game. And second of all, his opponent has gone into BAR rifles, so he knows that the tech... You know, he doesn't have to fear vehicles right now. He just needs to deal with the infantry on the field. Mortar on the way for our US player. That's an interesting choice, I think. So, mortars are always good. I always love mortars. That said, they are substantially better against weapon teams that don't move around as much. That said, they can be very effective against infantry if the infantry is insistent on standing in cover and fighting you. And we've seen a lot of that this game. So, oddly enough, this is... I don't normally say that a US player needs a heavy machine gun, but I think this might be a game where that would be really good because of just how much infantry our German player has. So, he needs a way to control the blob here. See if he ends up wanting to do that. Now, at a high level, just because you have a lot of infantry doesn't mean you're going to blob, and that could mean that a heavy machine gun won't be as effective, but both these players clearly demonstrating that they just want to fight with basic infantry, and I love it. Oh my god, a 6th Grenadier on the way? Okay. Sure. This player's adding on a motor pool now, so he's not going to stay on infantry tech, despite all other appearances. This player having to bail out there. The focus fire from those Grenadiers is ruthless. Scouts won't be able to stay long either. Mortar helping out a little bit here. More shoe mines from our German here. And looks like this is favoring our US player. Look how high veterancy all those units are, though. Part of that is our German player researched the veterancy 1 for his... If it would let me select it. Yeah, infantry officer quarters, right? So leveling everything up to level 1 and then producing a ton of that. That's kind of a cool strategy. Geez, already up to 260 fuel. That's totally bonkers. With this many grenadiers, though, he's definitely going to be struggling for manpower. Adding on a Panzer Grenadier Company now. So, probably going to see... Well, I don't know what we're going to see. Might see packs out of that building. I guess we may also see the Nibelwerfer, but it's not the usual build. This build is so unusual from our Wehrmacht player. It's really cool to see. Heading out on a concrete bunker now. Where's that happening? It's not going to show me. I bet you it's this guy building. Right here. Bottom side, throwing out a bunker there. Mortar's going to help out with that. And maybe that's why our US player added on that mortar. Maybe a little afraid of bunker spam. Hasn't actually happened, but mortars are, of course, great for dealing with bunkers. Both players just have a tremendous amount of firepower in the form of infantry on the map there. Captain hitting a mine on the way out. Mortars continuing to fall here. From that artillery officer. And yeah, I mean, with so much infantry, our German can have multiple squads spread across the map here. So our US player adding on that motor pool. We haven't seen him add anything yet from there. Don't know what I'd like to see. I mean, maybe a Greyhound, or maybe some AT guns for the inevitable tanks, but I mean, I say that, and our German just does not care about tanks. This game is so unusual, I'm not sure what to make of it. It kind of feels like both players are memeing a little bit. I'm sure that they know each other. Like, you know, when you play on the ladder at this high level, you start to know other people, especially in your time zones. So, Mortar getting a huge hit on this infantry blob. Gonna bail out now. Slowing down his opponent is the US player, just trying to slow that roll. Gonna capture some stuff on the sides here, throw down some mines maybe. US player did go for a Greyhound and has gone for the armored battle group. Huge mine from our US player, picking up a ton of models there. Greyhound keeping these infantry at arm's length. Now that is one weakness about our German's army, right, is he has literally 0 anti-tank capabilities. That said, he does have plenty of Panzerfausts available to him from all these grenadiers. Let's see if he wants to make use of that. Or if he's got another plan for all these tanks. For all the vehicles he's going to be seeing at some point. German spreading out, capturing a ton of territory, leaving behind mines up there. US player seemingly content to roll into this middle area. Capturing this point. Just getting more fuel, getting more munitions for himself. Interestingly enough, seems like he's prioritizing munitions over fuel. Adding on an AT now, preparing for the tanks from his opponent. Panzer Company on the way right now. Looks like did skip over the need for the Panzer Grenadier Company, just going right for the right for those tanks. I think we're probably gonna see a Sturmpanzer. If he is memeing, he might stay on infantry and just go for something like a Stoßtruppen. But that remains to be seen. US player finally discovering this bunker from his opponent. Huge push on this top side. By our US player. And German responding in force here. Mortar helping out a little bit. Artillery officer setting up. His riflemen are going to have to bail out. I mean, and this is what I say when I say our US player needs a heavy machine gun, right? When your opponent is blobbing up this hard, throw down some heavy machine guns, you know what I mean? Suppress them, make their lives harder. And that mortar continuing to do work, which is really cool to see. Greyhound gonna go get its pound of flesh here from the looks of it. Does need to sit at maximum range, cannot afford to get caught there. German player chasing our US player around with all his forces. It's kind of cool to see. I mean, this squad's got to go right now, and that's a really, really bad retreat path. I think he's going to make it. It's going to be close, though. And Greyhound here to save the day. So what I was trying to say there is that I like that our US player is leaving his scouts on the edge of the map, just capturing a little bit of territory here and there, right? Kind of cool. Chaffee light tank on the field. Another interesting choice. This thing is terrible against infantry, but it will be okay against this Panzer IV. Using it to destroy the bunker, so now I see the light there. That was his plan all along. AT gun used to help destroy. Plenty of riflemen coming in here to stop this push from happening. German player finding all of the mines from his opponent. He's going straight for those mines, gonna disable them. Both players closing the distance here and shredding each other at close range. Panzer IV a little bit late to the party, but here in time to help out. Not have the machine gun upgrade. Chaffee looking around, trying to see if it can help out there. And really nice map control from our US player here. I mean, despite he's going around the blob, right? He is feinting, right? When your opponent hits you hard in an area, we're seeing our US player feint, as in fight a little bit, fall back, make your opponent walk deeper into your territory, pick at him with the Greyhound and the mortar, right? It's been really nice. So, you know, for a player of lower skill like myself, you know, I need something like a heavy machine gun to deal with this sort of situation. But our US player is doing a wonderful job. Panzer IV closing the distance here. Greyhound going to have to bail out. Chaffee helping out, getting a side hit there. Our German player has added on the side armor for his tanks, making them a little better at tanking those side hits there. Your US player nice and spread out here, taking fights on all angles, grabbing that victory point. There's a squad on the bottom side taking away the fuel right now. Big push by the German right through the middle here. Chaffee backing up. Big push, big force, large forces from both players meeting each other here. AT gun repositioning to deal with this Panzer IV on the top side. Grenadiers acting as a screen for that Panzer IV. AT gun is going to get set up here. German player should see it. Going to see it now. AT gun getting some shots. Artillery officer hasn't thrown down his AoE effect yet. Units pushing in to drive away that AT gun. Might actually pick him up. He's going to do that. Panzer IV shooting at the Chaffee. I'm going to try and push him back there. And now he's going to attack that AT gun, right? Because doesn't want his opponent to reman it. Smoke grenade from the Chaffee. Going to block that from happening. This Panzer IV still can't attack ground there. Oh, he's actually just going to charge right through the smoke. This is risky. Does our US player have AT grenades? Yes, he does. Both players right up against each other. Very risky to do with your vehicles, right? You typically want to fight your vehicles at max range. US forces stepping on a landmine that was still under construction, destroying the Pioneers in the process. Second Chaffee tank out for our US player, going to help out against that Panzer IV, but our German player is adding on another Panzer IV of his own. And man, just look at those veterancy from both players. Like, both players very, very high veterancy units. Despite the overwhelming firepower both players have brought to bear on the map here, both have done a great job keeping their units alive. I mean, holy cow. I guess our German player did lose one Grenadier from the looks of things, but he hasn't lost any of his Pioneers, which is really hard to do. 2nd Panzer IV. Oh, that's the 1st Panzer IV back again. Gonna push away this Greyhound. Greyhound actually getting a penetrating shot there. Nicely done. Rifles chasing down those Pioneers while they try to repair. And excellent use of light vehicles here by our US player. Somehow making it work in the face of those medium tanks. Really cool to see. Second Panzer IV on station here. Chaffee's angry about that. Gonna have to back up though. Rifleman closing the gap with these Pioneers. Gonna try and take away that victory point. Panzer IV has something to say about it though. Pioneers should make it out just barely. Rifleman gonna give it up as well. Chaffee's fighting this Panzer IV. Thinking about charging here. AT gun bouncing off the front though. And both players gonna limp away a little bit there. This player did manage to secure the top side while all that was happening. Yeah, this is a really cool game. And I'm about to sound like I'm gonna rag on Barbarossa, but I'm not. For someone like me, who often gets... I mean, okay, there's a balance in this game, right? Where if you group up all your units, you're less likely to lose any specific unit, right? But at the same time, your map control will be weaker because at the end of this day, this game is about spreading out and capturing as much territory as you can, which we're seeing our US player do, right? Barbarossa is keeping all his forces together. He's kept his units alive. He's got an even victory point counter. He actually dominated the early game. So it's refreshing for me to see... You know, it's easy to call him not a great player because he's grouping up the way he is, but at the same time, he's getting it done, and that's cool and refreshing for a bad player like me who can't spread out, you know. And I suspect that same thing may apply to some of you as well. Grenadiers throwing a grenade on that AT gun, gonna back off. Both players kind of forcing each other out. There goes the Greyhound. There is a recovery vehicle on the field for our US player. Chaffee's charging these Panzer IVs. Losing one Chaffee, might lose the other one as well. Wow. Wow, those Chaffee tanks went really aggressive there. Nobody was bouncing, every shell was going through, and both players took a ton of damage there. So that was the seek and destroy ability from our US player, giving him that speed and accuracy, letting him close the gap there, but ultimately couldn't get it done. So this recovery vehicle's a little sad, having seen his units dive super deep and not be able to recover them. US player does have excellent map control, despite that crazy fight. Panzer IVs living through that ordeal, gonna repair up now. US player has a ton of fuel. Both players have a ton of fuel. I don't think our US player has gone up to... Yeah, he has not gone up to a tank depot yet. Staying on that motor pool. I'm wondering if he's gonna continue to do that. Looks like he's trying to get his Chaffee back, but... Is that a recovery or a repair? Or salvage? Was a salvage. Very cool. It's really cool to... I mean, I've seen people use that before, and you definitely see it in team games, but it's really cool to see it in a 1v1. Smoke barrage from the mortar there. That's one thing, you know, I didn't comment on it at the time, but as that push was happening a moment ago, right before the Chaffees dove, our US player was using that airburst barrage on the mortar, and that ability is just unbelievably strong. And you know, it's funny to me that mortars, like, never have very many kills, at least according to their kill counter here, but boy, do they do a ton of damage, right? It's that attrition value. So, I mean, just look how much damage it just did. Grenade from over the bush there, gonna get spotted out by those riflemen. This player is tanking up to a teching up to a tank depot here. Has added on the Easy 8 production so he can build them out of his tank depot, and we're going to see him probably build one in short order here. Remember, he is getting a manpower discount from the... oh, maybe not. Did he not take the manpower? Oh, there it is. War Machine. Yeah. So he's getting that manpower discount on his tanks. Yeah, something else I'm wondering is if he ever picked up Advanced Logistics. No, he did not. So he doesn't have a manpower discount on keeping his squads alive. Not that there's anything wrong with that. German player setting up an anti-tank bunker here in the middle.
Sector lost. No contact.
I was doing a little research into... can't remember what I was looking at, but I found out the other day that these anti-tank bunkers used to... They now cost population space, which is unique for a bunker. Normally they don't cost anything other than the resources to build them. So I think they did that because players would absolutely spam the heck out of them. But yeah, Easy 8 on the field for our US player. Easy 8 should be able to go toe-to-toe with these Panzer IVs as long as it has the support of the infantry. 195 front armor. Gonna do pretty well there. Just comparing the two units in real time here. Yeah, roughly equivalent health. More armor for Easy 8, of course. And definitely more penetrating power than these Panzer IIIs. Now, there are 3 of these Panzer IIIs, so our US player's going to have to be very careful. AT guns helping out here. Big fight. Big push in here by the German. Hitting a mine with one tank and damaging both tanks simultaneously, though. Infantry focusing down that AT gun. He's going to lose one of the Panzers. AT is going to go down. Mortar might go down as well. Riflemen trying to hold the line here. Doing okay. Are going to give it up. Easy 8 firing at maximum range there, helping out just a little bit. Doing big damage to these Panzer IIIs. Now 2 tanks on one is never a good time. German player looking like he wants to chase. He's going to pick up this... Oh, wow, those recovery vehicles have a ton of health, don't they? Good hits by the Panzer... Good hits by the Sherman. But feels like our US player's a little boxed in his base here. Overall, he did lose a rifleman squad. And of course, he lost his mortar, which is actually going to get destroyed. Artillery officer calling down Overwatch on this area here, preventing his opponent from moving out. And wow. This game turned around fast. I feel like just a moment ago the whole map was blue. But no more Sherman hunting around for the Panzer IVs a little bit. Flare going out, revealing his opponent there. Should see this Panzer. Oh, is focused on the Grenadiers though. Riflemen coming to help out. German taking a side armor shot there. US player has added on a bulldozer Sherman for the anti-infantry capability. Not sure if that was the right call or not. Our German is adding on another Panzer IV. And this bulldozer isn't going to do super great against something like that. Now, it does have a ton of front armor and a reasonable amount of health. I guess it's the same as the Easy 8. But that front armor to tank for his Easy 8 is really cool. Throwing some shape charges down there to destroy the bunker there, picking it up pretty easily. Again, getting out front with that Sherman to tank for his Easy 8 there. Panzer IV is not dissuaded. Needs to back up right away. Getting a multi-hit with the area of effect shot from that bulldozer, but again, Can't really stand up to 3 tanks there, not doing a ton of damage, but making his opponent think better of it with that anti-tank grenade quickly getting repaired here. EZ8 is back in business already. This recovery vehicle worth its weight in gold. Players just willing to slug it out here with their tanks. Infantry, nowhere to be seen. It's not often you see just tank-on-tank battles. And our US player is definitely outmatched here. Panzerschreck from the Grenadiers there, hitting that recovery vehicle, maybe trying to keep them from repairing. EZ8 continuing to back up. Rifleman coming in from the side to throw down an anti-tank grenade, but not going to happen. And that was a totally bonkers fight. I'm not even sure what to say. Rifleman gonna go down here on the retreat. That's a couple bars donated to his opponent there. Anti-tank gun on the field for our US player. Yeah. I really don't think that adding on this bulldozer was the right call for our US player. You know, he probably felt like he needed anti-infantry right at that moment. Is this AT gun going to die in the exact same spot the last one did? Yes, it is. That Grenadier might go down. Nice pickup for our US player, remounting the AT gun. Continuing to blast each other as our US player focusing any of those tanks. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the shots are kind of going all over the place. German player willing to focus the AT gun down. That's actually okay for him. Ultimately, that was pretty good for our German player. German player coming back in with the Panzer IV. Coming in from the side with these Grenadiers. Nice barrage. Nice shot from that Sherman there. EZ8 repairing in the face of all this gunfire. Here comes some more Shreks. Ooh, wow, that Rifleman squad taking huge shots from those Panzer IVs. Should make it out, just barely. Just got him right at the edge there, but those Grenadiers did. Oh man, this game, this game is crazy. These tanks have been slugging it out with each other for the last 5 minutes. So ridiculous. And unfortunately for our US player, losing a ton of units here. Pretty much his whole army in terms of riflemen there have gone down. Is going to pick up a Panzer IV. Of course, there's 4 on the field now. Well, there was. So I think that our US player needs to just focus this bottom side. He needs to do nothing other than fight on this bottom side. Because he does have his units are higher quality, but he has way fewer of them, and I guess I'm only referring to the tanks. But I think that's the end of the game right there, as this Sherman's going to go down to this rush. US player wasn't quite able to replace that EZ8, and yeah, there's the GG coming out from Stephen there. What a crazy little game. What a crazy game. I'm not even sure what to say, because it was like, that game started out with like 78 million Grenadiers, and like a ton of riflemen, both players just slugging it out with infantry all over the place. And then we saw this stage where a US player went for a bunch of light vehicles and was making them work for him. Losing those Chaffies in that dive would have been game-changing. If that fight had gone even a little bit differently, that would have been a way different game, because our German player from then on was able to like build up his tank forces, and then we saw him able to dominate with those tanks in that late game. So what a fantastic game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.